How's it going, IO? In this video we're going to talk about Justin Bieber once again humiliating his wife Hailey Bieber, the fact that HBO's The Idol has been permanently cancelled, and Dolly Parton spilling some very surprising tea about Kate Middleton. So to celebrate the launch of her new strawberry glazed lip treatment in collaboration with Krispy Kreme, Hailey Bieber threw an extravagant soiree in New York City on Monday. She took to social media to commemorate this special day and posted photos from the event and a video of her eating a donut while driving. In the caption she wrote, "Strawberry Glaze Day. Feeling over the moon today, thank you, thank you, thank you." She wore a red mini dress and matching heels and was also carrying a red handbag and wearing her hair up in a very fancy do. Justin, on the other hand, was seen with a more casual look. Very casual. He was wearing a grey hoodie, sweatshorts, and Crocs, so their outfits were clearly clashing. It's no wonder that the internet had some major thoughts. One person commented that Justin deliberately dresses like this to embarrass Hailey. They wrote, "She's ready for the Met Gala and he's ready to go to the soup kitchen for a hot meal. I would have left him in the car." Another person wrote, "Their stylists don't even have each other's phone numbers." On the other hand, some people were saying that Justin's outfit was fine and Hailey was the one who was overdressed just to go to Krispy Kreme. The two of them are often spotted in mismatched looks. While Hailey is usually more polished and chic, Justin likes to keep things a little too casual. A lot of people don't really understand it, but to explain his bizarre fashion choices we have to go back to 2018, which is when the scumbro trend really took off. Scumbros wear oversized, overpriced skatewear by labels like Palace and Supreme, obscure graphic t-shirts, ridiculous shoes, and even more ridiculous hats. They also wear wildly expensive labels like Gucci, Versace, and Prada, but they deliberately make them look terrible. And plenty of young male celebrities are really into this. According to Vanity Fair, Jonah Hill is said to be the king of the scumbros, and he still has pretty good taste in fashion. But the celebrity who took the scumbro trend to the mainstream was actually Pete Davidson. For the first few years of his comedy career, he was just known as the kid from SNL. But when he got with Ariana Grande, he really found himself on top of the pinnacle of the celebrity pyramid. And his fashion also took center stage. For men, when it comes to fashion, looking like you don't care has always been essential to looking cool. So what's really interesting about scumbro style is that it is supposed to look like it takes no effort while emphasizing how much effort it actually takes. It's both snobby and ugly at the same time, which makes it the ultimate young male celebrities fashion trend. Justin and Hailey have been showing off their very different styles this summer, and in July they stepped out for a date night in New York City at an Italian restaurant, with Hailey rocking a floral satin mini dress with a thigh-high slit and an asymmetrical neckline. Justin, meanwhile, opted for a more laid-back look with baggy blue jeans, orange Vans sneakers, a white tank top, and an oversized olive green zip-up. A few months ago, they were also seen on a date night to a sushi park in LA. They were spotted on the second floor of a West Hollywood strip mall. Hailey was wearing a black leather jacket, baggy white trousers, and a Koosh ball-esque knit beanie. It was a cute outfit, but nothing that would make you do a double take. And then there was Justin, whose body was wrapped in a big rainbow knit crochet blanket, which made it look like he was attempting another one of his intentionally terrible celebrity disguises. Everyone remembers that wig moment in Tokyo, right? Although the photos are hilarious, they aren't that surprising considering that Justin has been labeled as one of the biggest stunt dressers in Hollywood. Having spent over half his life in the spotlight for better and for worse, he's turned his outfits into a steady source of media attention, like that time he pulled up to the Oscars in a giant suit and a hot pink beanie, or he wore a fur coat in the dead of summer. Then there was the Vanity Fair party, which took place after the Oscars. This year, Justin decided not to pose with Hailey while she was walking the red carpet by herself, and he was nowhere to be found. Instead, he was photographed inside the party, looking a little disheveled but very comfortable. He was wearing a backwards baseball cap with a colorful blanket draped over his shoulders. It's possible that he couldn't be bothered with the red carpet attire and just wanted to go straight to the party. After all, he was wearing a literal blanket. Some people took this as a sign that he was avoiding Hailey or trying to embarrass her once again. But to be fair, he did post a photo of the two of them from inside the party on his Instagram. And besides, no one really knows what goes on inside a relationship other than the people in it. Now let's talk about the sad but predictable news to do with HBO's The Idol. Well, it's been cancelled. The controversial series from Sam Levinson and The Weeknd will not be returning for a second season. It's not a huge surprise given the critical and commercial reception of the show, but then again, some of the cast did mention the possibility of a second season during interviews. Davine Joy Randolph, who played one of the managers, said that the first season was left intentionally open-ended for the possibility of a second. HBO also released a statement saying, "The Idol was one of HBO's most provocative original programs, and we're pleased by the strong audience response. After much thought and consideration, HBO as well as the creators and producers have decided not to move forward with a second season. We're grateful to the creators, the cast, and the crew for their incredible work." network. The premiere of the show reportedly drew a same-day audience of 913,000 people across HBO and Max, while the second episode dipped slightly to 800,000. After a week on Max, viewing for the first episode had ballooned to 3.6 million. HBO said it even outpassed the series premiere for both The White Lotus and Euphoria in that same time period. But while critical and audience reception for Euphoria and The White Lotus was positive, the same just cannot be said for The Idol. By the time that the final episode came out, the reviews were overwhelmingly negative. The Guardian referred to the series as an example of nauseating, hateful TV and said Sam Levinson's miserable drama despises its characters and its audience. What an utterly grueling exercise in reveling in a protagonist's pain. Whereas British GQ reviewed the second episode and said that it contained the worst sex scene in history. Aside from those reviews, there were also messed up reports coming out from inside the set, alleging that The Weeknd was an egomaniac. One show source told Page Six that working with him in character as Tedros was not an ideal working experience and not one that they are eager to repeat. Even the star of the show, Lily Rose Depp, admitted that there were times when she would steer clear of him while he was in the zone. At one point in time, a source inside HBO said that the door is definitely still open and that a decision hadn't been made yet, but that this was a normal part of the process because they were only 2 episodes in. Quote, "The only person who makes the decision is the head of HBO, Casey Bloys, and he is optimistic." The source added that HBO was not shocked by the viewer reactions because after all it is a Sam Levinson show, and they always knew what they were getting with Sam Levinson. They insisted that it was meant to be a huge show for Max as it's the first major series on there. Quote, "It was a big show for them with big talent and a lot of buzz. But from what I heard, HBO knew it was a bit of a turkey as soon as they saw it. But now you have all the headlines and that kind of makes up for it." In an interview with GQ, The Weeknd addressed the controversy surrounding the show. In response, he said that it was similar to when he first started making music. At the time, he felt like it was very provocative and he knew a lot of people wouldn't like it. He said, "It's definitely shaken up the culture for sure. We knew we were making something dark and controversial, but true to what we wanted to say." In terms of the criticism, he said that discussion is healthy no matter what, and that he's just happy there was a conversation happening in the first place. So that is definitely one way to look at it. Speaking to the New York Times, Lily Rose Depp also had to defend the show, more specifically the outrageous nudity of her character Jocelyn. She said her bareness physically and emotionally was a big part of the discussions that we all had. Those were decisions I was completely involved in. She went on to say that there were many women who felt exploited by the nudity they've done and have thought that they didn't feel great about that, but she said that she's comfortable performing in that way and she enjoys it. When asked about the controversial themes, she said that she always knew they were going to make something provocative, which is not going to be for everyone. She said, "I don't think any of us were interested in making anything that was going to be fun for the whole family." And in a separate interview with EW, she said, "For something that does explore darker themes and has some pretty heavy emotional moments to it, the vibe on set was quite lighthearted." Lily claimed that she was good friends with all of the cast members and that they all really understood each other. She also said that you felt like you were surrounded by people that you feel comfortable with. So that's always a positive. Now, on today's episode of Unexpected Crossovers We Never Knew We Needed, it turns out the Queen of Country Dolly Parton and the Princess of Wales Kate Middleton almost met up for tea. But apparently Dolly ended up declining the invitation, and she talks about why in a new interview. During a recent appearance on BBC Radio 2, she spoke about how busy she was during her trip to the UK. And she said that she loves the people and the feel of London, but that she unfortunately doesn't get the time to sightsee. She also said that her packed schedule prevented her from meeting up with Kate Middleton. Apparently she got invited to have tea with her, but she just couldn't go. Dolly said, "I thought it was very sweet and nice of her to invite me, and one of these days I'm going to get to do that and that would be great. But she wasn't going to promote my rock album, so I had to say no." All jokes aside, this news was pretty unexpected because most people just couldn't imagine which celebrities Kate Middleton would choose to invite for tea. But now we know she has a thing for country singers. Unfortunately, the way things are now, it doesn't seem that she would be extending this same invitation to her sister-in-law Meghan Markle. In fact, the relationship between the two women is said to be a disaster. It's safe to say that they no longer get along at all and they haven't seen each other in quite some time. Meghan was not even at the coronation of King Charles, which made it seem like the rift in their relationship had not yet been repaired. Several royal experts said that Kate was most likely relieved she wasn't there simply because there was going to be a lot less focus put on her. But it doesn't look like they're even on speaking terms at the moment. The publishing of Meghan's book Finding Freedom gave us a bit more perspective of their relationship. Back when they both lived at Kensington Palace, according to Meghan, they were just not the best of friends and their relationship hadn't progressed much since she was Harry's girlfriend. Meghan felt that Kate didn't make a big effort with her in the way that other people had expected. She thought that her sister-in-law would guide her through all things that she needed to know, but she was disappointed when that never happened. The book says that Kate did send her flowers for her birthday one year, but that Meghan would far rather have had her support during difficult times with the press. So regardless of who was at fault, the two of them were never really close from the beginning. Not only that, but everything that's come out about Prince William over the last couple of months gives us even more insight into their strained relationship. While doing an ITV interview promoting his book, Harry revealed William's real feelings about their marriage. Quote, "He never tried to dissuade me from marrying Meghan, but he aired some concerns and said, 'This is going to be hard for you,' and to this day I don't truly understand what part he was talking about. Maybe he predicted what the British press's reaction was going to be." So either way, his brother was never a big fan of their relationship from the jump. What do you guys think about this latest news story? Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.